All right, so let's begin. Aadhaar card has become a part of our daily or day-to-day lives in last few years. From opening a bank account to getting a driving license, Aadhaar cards are frequently used to verify an individual's identity. An Aadhaar card contains a unique Aadhaar number which is issued by the Unique Identification Authority of India, UIDI. It also contains other important data such as biometric information such as your fingerprints, your iris and facial images. In the wake of growing concerns around data privacy and security, it is crucial to protect your data. Why? Because fraudsters can misuse biometric details and carry out unauthorized authentication using your Aadhaar card. Cybercriminals have been exploiting the Aadhaar-enabled payment system. Now, these scams entail cloning individuals' Aadhaar-linked biometrics through silicone fingerprints and unauthorized biometric devices, subsequently siphoning funds from their bank accounts. Let's understand this more with Ritesh, Bhatia, Cybercrime Investigator and Cybersecurity Consultant. Ritesh, good evening and welcome to the show. What exactly are we talking about now? Hacking of your biometric that's linked with your Aadhaar card, is it?
Yes, absolutely. And I think, when this entire debate of Aadhaar, when it had to start was going on, we were very concerned about it. We raised these questions that, the biometrics can be hacked. And they said, no, it can't be done. And now today it's a reality. It's been happening. Just like deepfake, back 5 years back, we thought, no, this can't happen and all that. But it's become like a kind of very soon going to become a part and parcel of your life. In fact, some of the anchors have already started creating deepfake versions of themselves. So, Kavita, what is happening over here is that, there is something called as a AEPS, which is the Aadhaar-enabled payment system. Now, what exactly it is? Now, if you go to some small villages where there is when there are no ATMs and other kind of, or banks, or they are quite at a distance, then what you need is so there are these micro ATMs or the POS devices, as we call it. They're like really very small. You just need to give your fingerprint over there, authenticate yourself as such, and you will be given the money. Now, the money that's given is just 10,000 rupees. But of course, you can withdraw more, but maximum limit is 10,000 at one time and 50,000 in the day, which means 5 times you can do this. So what do you really need? Now, what you need over here, Kavita, is the Aadhaar number. You need your fingerprints and in which bank your account is over there. So these are the 3 things. Now, with that, you just go to the guy and he gets the POS device or the micro ATM. You just give your fingerprint and that's it. He gives you the 10,000 rupees over there. So it's a beautiful thing because now people, you don't really have to walk down like for several meters, kilometers as such to get money and all that. But now there has been a sudden misuse of it. This has been happening since a year or two, but there is a sudden spike right now. The spike is basically, I would say, is because of the theft of our fingerprints. So from where are these thefts done? Let's say, you rented out a house. So you had to go for the registration. So you went for your the property registration as such, the rental registration, or you bought a property and there again, or you did a eKYC or, through the for your SIM or for the bank account, there again we leave behind our fingerprints. So what these guys do with a very high resolution camera, they take the photograph of the prints from the land registry record, or they will just pick that up, like photocopy it, color photocopy it, and then what they will do is they will just make those rubber molds or the silicone thumbs, as we call it, wherein these fingerprints are transferred to the silicone sheet, and then a thumb is created, and that's how you have your fingerprint. Now, these are all sold at places, far off locations. Specifically, like if I'll tell you is, there have been cases in the remote areas of Karnataka, in Maharashtra, in Bihar, and many other places. Many arrests have also been happened, and a lot of amount has been swindled. So once they get these molds, they know the Aadhaar number, they know the bank. So it's kind of a kit that is sold by one cyber criminal to the other cyber criminal. That's it. They just start withdrawing and you wouldn't even come to know about it unless, you get an OTP and all those kind of things. But 10,000 has gone, but many people, they just don't bother about it. It's only when you go to your bank, you'll come to know that this money went, in 10,000 rupees sums, to some places in remote areas. Kavita.
So Ritesh, a lot of times people won't know that their biometric is actually being cloned. Okay, how can one be careful? It is very important for you to safeguard these particular things because you are using Aadhaar for practically each and everything or every crucial kind of transaction in your life. But then, how do you know that your biometric, even if you have safeguarded it, it's not being leaked or it's not being cloned? We really need a very robust infrastructure to ensure this, but then from a user point of view, how can you ensure this?
See, as such, from a user point of view, there's nothing much you can do except for locking your biometrics. And I think that's something that every citizen of the country needs to do it. Because somewhere or the other, the fingerprints can be got, and with a little bit of social engineering, my Aadhaar can be my bank account wouldn't be like a real big task as for anyone to find out, okay, like I can easily find out what is your bank account. I mean, in which branch and all, I can actually find out what's your Aadhaar number. All now I need is your fingerprint. So imagine me just coming to your studio, you had a glass of water. What if I just pick up the fingerprints from there? The kids are also so small. It's easy to lift fingerprints also. So, but what is important is that even if it's cloned and somebody tries to attempt it, it wouldn't go through if your biometrics are locked. So it's extremely important that every citizen of the country locks their biometric. That's one. The other thing that they need to do is just get rid of your old, the cards that you have of which you have printed, the Aadhaar ones, if they are not with the virtual ID as such. So we have a 16-digit virtual ID, so you can just download that also. There is another way. What you can also do is frequently go and check on the UIDA website if your biometrics has been attempted any place. Again, there is an authentication history on that website. Maybe once in a while you must go and check it out. Now, as far as coming to your question, that what other things I can do as a citizen, or you just tell me if I have to go to the land registry, I just have to give my thumbprint. It is in their roster. It is in their big register. From there, I just clean my fingerprints and I move out. So now it becomes a responsibility of that organization to safeguard my biometrics. Well, but if you go to a shop and let's say you just need a SIM, and then in your bank, they want you to do a kind of a KYC. I think the least that one can do is after giving just take a tissue paper, ask for a tissue and just rub the fingerprints out from there, Kavita.
Now, the question rises that if you've been a victim of this particular scam, what all can you do? What is the damage control procedure for you?
Oh, well, so the RBI guidelines clearly say if you haven't shared your any such kind, if you haven't been careless, so here you have actually not been careless. So in that case, the RBI says if you haven't been careless, you have to report something like this in 3 working days to the bank, and the bank is supposed to refund you your entire money. So I think here what is extremely important is to inform the bank that something like this has happened, because somewhere in your statement it might show up AEPS and you'll be able to see 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, because that is what they would attempt to withdraw the maximum amount. So that needs to be done. It's best to freeze your account for that particular for few days till the investigation is going on, because we need to be extremely careful that no more money should go. But I think the first step would be that you please go lock your biometrics. The second step would be go to the bank and block the account and raise the complaint. We don't want 3 days to go away. The third is to call up 1930 and also lodge a complaint on the National Cybercrime Reporting Portal, which is www.cybercrime.gov.in.
One very basic question, Ritesh. How do you lock your biometric? What's the procedure for that? If you could just take us stepwise.
Okay, so you just need to either you download the app Aadhaar. There is a provision over there in the app itself to lock the biometrics. The second is which I personally prefer because it's simpler, is to go to the UIDA website and you just get into my Aadhaar thing, and over there there is a particular option about my Aadhaar and lock biometrics. And that is where you just go and you just lock it. It will ask you for your Aadhaar number. You put that, you get your OTP, just submit the OTP, and then it will tell you whether you want to enable the locking or you want to disable the locking as such. So you of course enable the lock, which means you lock your biometrics. So it's as simple as that. And then in future, whenever you think you want to use biometrics at some particular place, because this is not something that you don't go for a rental agreement every day or every month. It's just once in like a year or once in 3 years. You don't buy a SIM card every day. It's at least once in a year, maybe once a year or twice in a year, you may be buying a SIM card as such. So you don't need these biometrics to be open. So it's very simple. Go onto the website. Also, when you go onto the website, do also check, do three things. One is lock your biometric. Second is download an Aadhaar with the VID, with the virtual ID. And that's the number, start using that. And the third is check your authentication history. Have there been moments where somebody's tried to, attempted to get into your Aadhaar? So these are the three things I think one must do frequently.
We all thank you so much, Ritesh, for taking out time always for our viewers and helping them have their online security in place. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kavita.
All right.